Hey everybody, Cole here with Classic Mini DIY, and today I have another teardrop episode for you guys. We are going to be installing two really nice, affordable awnings onto our teardrop trailer, one on each side, so that we can get a little bit of sun and rain coverage when we're out camping on the trails. Now, as I mentioned, today we're going to be installing two brand new awning systems for our teardrop trailer. Now, you guys probably have seen a billion different awnings for campers and teardrop trailers and, any number of combinations. Ones that are like 270 degrees and wrap around the edges and things like that. Some that kind of create like a bat wing on the side of your teardrop trailer. And then of course, simple ones that come just straight out and create a simple covered section above your door. Now, if you are in the market for one of these, you probably have also seen they are a literal fortune. Some of these are so cost prohibitive that it's just, it seems like outrageous. Because what it really amounts to at the end of the day is a strong gusseted rail on the back here, a rolled up set of canvas that can handle all weather, and then of course the supports and then the legs that come down outside of those awnings to give you that coverage. And past that, any other, one that sweeps around the whole teardrop trailer or your camper or whatever you have, can be a little excessive and probably is not what most people need for their setup. Now, that is where these awnings come in. I was lucky enough to partner with a wonderful company. You probably have seen some of the stuff that I have put on my trailer from them. They have a really nice collection of parts and tools and all sorts of different things that are much more cost effective for those of us who are not looking to spend $800–900 on an awning. The ones we have here are their larger square awnings. These are about $150, and we got two of them to put on each side of the teardrop trailer. Now, I'm going to show you guys how to install these. They are available and you can install them on just about any set of roof rails. They come with a few various different brackets that you can use. For us, because I built this roof rack with the idea of expandability on it, I built it with extruded aluminum crossbars, which allows me to use carriage bolts or T-bolts that will allow it to slide right into that channel and bolt right to these new brackets. Now, one thing that you will notice, and I do want to call out before we start putting this up here and showing you guys how it all goes together, you probably notice that I'm kind of tall, and this is already above my head, or I should say I'm already above this. It's below my head height. And that's okay. We have some pretty exciting updates to the suspension and the rest of the teardrop trailer that are coming in a future video. So for right now, it is going to be a little bit lower. That's okay. We'll be able to extend the awning up so we can kind of angle it in different positions to allow it to fit a little bit better for us tall people. And then when we update the suspension with our upcoming full suspension overhaul, which I'm going to cover in a later video, it should alleviate a good bit of this height issue. In addition to this awning, you'll notice that I do have a one-up roof rack up here. And the idea is that I will still be able to reach over the awning to get to the bike when I want to take that down. Of course, if it's raining and I have this awning up, probably not getting the bike down anyways, but I think the trade-off is going to be worth it. Now, first things first, let's take a look at the roof rack here, and I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to modify these brackets just a little bit. Now, taking a look at the front roof bar here, you can kind of see what I'm talking about with the extruded aluminum. These are 80/20 is the brand, extruded aluminum bars. These are their 45/45 series, and they let you insert little T-blocks or carriage bolts like this to allow you to bolt things directly to this system here and tighten things down. You can even see that with the one-up rack, I was able to flush mount it really nice and tidy to this bar because of that extruded aluminum. Now, I know all of my British viewers are in the process of giving me the hardest time ever because I'm saying aluminum instead of aluminium, but it's fine. And you'll notice that the bracket that comes with this here is a little long. This is made to suit as many roof rack and roof bar systems as possible, but if we stick this on here, like so, you'll notice that sticks out quite far. And if this was sticking out like this, it's going to cause an air gap on the backside, which will then in turn allow water to kind of fall down where we don't want it. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and cut this down so that this is gonna sit perfectly flush on this bar here. That'll be cutting off the back 2 holes, and then we will bolt this down nice and tight. All right, and so for this next part, it's not all that complicated. Essentially, there's this little plastic cover on the back of your awning here. You're gonna pop that off, and you are going to slide the 2 smaller bolts into this channel here. Now, what I would recommend is going ahead and tossing those down to the other end. They'll just slide on down there nice and easy. And you'll want to take the other 2 short bolts you have and go ahead and slide those in. These are going to be what mount to the L bracket. You can go ahead and return this little plastic bit back to your channel. And then in the package here, you'll see there's some long bolts. We're not going to be using those in our setup because of the extruded aluminum, but we are going to be using these lock nuts. So with those in place, let's put the L brackets on the top of the trailer. So with those bolts in, we're gonna go ahead and put the L bracket in place here. Now, I'm not gonna tighten these down super tight just yet. I want these to be loose so I can kind of fiddle with it and move it around a little bit before I find it's kind of like happy home. Now, you should be able to do this by yourself, but it probably will be easier with a helping set of hands. But this, kind of just go up here. I'd like to show you guys something about this awning that it really impacts how well it works. You'll notice, you see this rail here sits off the back of the awning itself. It's what clamps the cover on. It then steps down a little bit. So what it allows you to do is kind of press your awning up against the face of your roof rack. And in the case of my setup here, that's just a little bit recessed behind the door, which means there's a lower likelihood that water is going to get through here and down into the doorway. It's not perfect and it's not going to be like totally foolproof, but it will make a big difference. So in my case, and in your case, if you're setting one of these up, I would strongly recommend pushing that back as far as you can. All right, and with that, the awning's on. It's pretty straightforward. There's essentially just 4 bolts that you need to put in place and you have a awning on your roof rack. Now, if you have a factory roof rack or something different than what I've showed you here, there are instructions in this kit to show you guys how to mount those to those other types of roof racks, whether you have sort of a sandwich style or you have some bolts that go through it. There's a lot of different ways to mount these, and it will be a little different depending on the setup and the application you're using. So first impressions just of the awning itself. I do like this cover. It is really nice. But I just don't like big logos on the side like this. I do wish that this was not here, or maybe just that it was a little bit smaller. I don't really understand why it needs to be quite that large. Talking about setting this up and pulling it out for the first time. I have not done this once. I haven't done it at all. So I'm gonna see, we're gonna time it and see how long it takes me to figure it out first try and how long it takes to get all set up. So ready? 3, 2, 1, whoops, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I think I'd say that's pretty nice. That is a ton of coverage, probably 8, almost 9 feet out that way. And then I think it's 6 feet wide. I do kind of think that I might shift it over to the right a little bit more so it's kind of more favoring the front of the trailer. But I mean, you guys can see here, the quality of this canvas is actually really quite high. It's a nice kind of thick but soft feeling. It's blocking a ton of light, like it's actually noticeably cooler underneath here now. And you can see I'm 6 foot, so once we get back to the back here, it's starting to touch my head a little bit, but I was able to raise it up on the outside here, and it's given me the head height that I want. Obviously, when the suspension gets raised up, I actually think that it's gonna resolve the height issue here, but man, super, super impressed. What do you guys think? Good purchase? 150 bucks gets you 6-foot by 9-foot cover here. It's a lot of coverage. Pretty awesome. All right, and with that, I think we're gonna wrap up this episode of Classic Mini DIY. I hope y'all enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Just a simple awning install, and man, what a difference this is gonna make when we go camping. We are almost done with the interior of the Teardrop, which I'm excited to show you guys. And as I mentioned, if you guys like these videos, I have a big suspension overhaul one that's coming up in the very near future. So you won't wanna miss it. If you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. But that's it today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until I see you on the next one, enjoy those minis and motor on. See y'all.